Good morning, good-looking people, and you're good-looking because you're always looking, and of course, you are finding the good in everything and in everybody. Hope you're well. Hope you had a nice weekend. It is the month of Adar. It's a time of joy, of happiness, and great energy, so make sure you're enjoying and tapping into this wonderful month. Today we're doing the Hayom Yom for the 10th of Adar, and we're going to start with the 10th of Adar Aleph. The Hayom Yom is about a bunch of instructions of what we do before we bench and how we bench. So we've talked about this in the past in other Hayom Yoms, that there are different things that we say on days that Tachnun is said, where if Tachnun is said, we are saying Al Nar is Bavel. And on days that Tachnun is not said, we're saying Shir Hamalos. So the Hayom Yom today is all about the instructions. And of course, as we've talked about in the past, whenever the Rebbe takes the time to share our minhagim of Chabad, these are known as chidushim. These are very important because they're different than others and whatever their minhagim will be. So as I read it inside, I'll point out some of the differences and then we'll go to the message of the day. So for the Hayom Yom of the 10th of Adar Aleph, it says, in the preparation for the grace after meals, before washing the fingertips for Mayim Achronim, we recite the Tehillim of Al Naraz Bavel. And we say also Lam Natzech Ben Ginas. Then Avracha, and then we say the verse of Zeh Chelek. This is just the orders you'll find in the Siddur. And why that's important is because there are other minhagim that will say first Zeh Chelek, or they'll start with Avracha. They have different orders of when they'll bring in this order of Al Narish Bavel until the end. So this is the Chabad minhag. On a day when Tachnun is not recited, we recite the Tehillim that begins with Shir Hamalas B'Shuva Adar Hashem, and then we say Livnei Korach, and instead of the two Tehillim mentioned above, then we say Avracha, and then we say Zeh Chelek. So we skip the Lam Natseach. And again, this is the minhag, and this is the order of Chabad. It also says here that after washing the fingertips with Mayim Achronim, then we recite the verse Vaydaber Elai. So, this Hayom Yom, a lot of instructions related to benching and the orders both on the days of Tachnun and days Tachnun is omitted. So first of all, how it connects to the day. So we're in Parshas Tetzaveh. In Parshas Tetzaveh, Moshe is training Aaron with his duties of being the high priest in the Mishkan. And one of the sacrifices that were given was called lechem, was bread. And being that we're talking about lechem in the Parsha of Tetzaveh, also when we eat our meal, which has to do with bread, which is washing, which is one of the reasons why this is also being brought up today. Another reason, it says that today, the table that we eat on, when we eat our meal, our dining room table, this is known as a shulchan. That's why it says in the pasuk by Adar Hashem Zeh shulchan lifnei Hashem. So, being that we're talking about the shulchan in the parsha, we're also bringing up the shulchan today. How it references Al Naraz Bavel, it says in Gemara Avodah Zarah that actually in the calendar, Yud Adar, which is the 10th of Adar, is the day in Bavel that they served the Avodah Zarah known of Bavel. That was their Avodah Zarah. So being that the 10th day of Adar was their day that they served it in Bavel, it's also being referenced today. And here there's a nice cute story of Reb Hillel of Parich. And Reb Hillel of Parich was all about not saying Tachnun when he could. And it also says here, he was very into saying Shir Hamalas on the days of not Tachnun. And even when you were to say Tachnun, he would look for an excuse to still say Shir Hamalas. And says there's a story here that after they finished the whole month of Tishrei, which we know in Tishrei we don't say Tachnun, it was the second day of Cheshvan or Macheshvan, because first day was Rosh Chodesh, and still we don't say Tachnun. And then it came to the second day of Cheshvan, and he announced he's saying Shir Hamalas. And the people asked him, what do you mean Shir Hamalas? And he said, what do you mean? We have a guest today. The guest of the month is Tachman. And being that we have a guest and it's a special day, he said, today we're saying Shir HaMalos. The note of the story is beautiful, that there's so many ways to focus on things. And although, yes, we say Al Nar's Bavel to remind us of Gullus and remind us of the destruction of the temple, also you can focus on the positivity. And that was what he was looking for. When Hillel was saying Shir HaMalos, instead of focusing on the destruction, he was looking forward to the reconstruction of the temple. And that's a great lesson to all of us for our attitudes and for our positivity and for our energy. There's so many different ways to look at things, but be like Reb Hillel. Find the positive. Look for the good. As we say, we're good-looking people because we're always looking and finding the good. Have a wonderful week. Have a successful week. Have a happy Adar. Purim is around the corner. Get your energy up. All the best.